One day, a professor entered a classroom with a serious expression, holding a stack of papers. The students were caught off guard when he announced that they would be having a surprise test. Immediately, all students' fear became tense, with a mix of curiosity and nervousness rippling through the room. Some students exchanged glances, wondering if they were prepared for this unexpected challenge. As the professor began distributing the test papers, he gave strict instructions for everyone to keep their papers face down until every student had received one. Sense of anticipation in the room was almost palpable as the students waited in silence, their minds racing with thoughts of what might be on the exam. They imagined difficult questions, complex problems, and daunting challenges waiting for them on the other side of the paper. Once all the papers were handed out, the professor instructed the students to turn them over. To their surprise, there were no questions, no problems to solve, only a blank sheet of paper with a small black dot in the center. Confused, the students stared at the black dot, unsure of what they were supposed to do. It seemed absurd, but the professor calmly explained, "I want you to write about what you see." Bewildered but obedient, the students began writing. As they wrote, most of them fixated on the black dot, describing its size, its position, and speculating on its significance. The exercise was unusual, but they tried to make sense of it, wondering if there was some deeper meaning behind the simplicity of the black dot. On the blank paper, after collecting the papers, the professor began reading the students' responses aloud. One by one, each answer was centered on the black dot, its size, its location, its possible symbolism. The students had written extensively about the small mark on the otherwise empty sheet of paper. Not a single one of them mentioned the vast white space that surrounded the dot. As he continued reading, a murmur of realization spread through the room. The professor stopped and looked at the class, and in that moment, the students understood that the exercise was more than just a test. It was a lesson about life. The professor then spoke. This test wasn't meant to grade you on your writing skills. It was meant to teach you something important about how you see the world. Each of you focused on the black dot, completely ignoring the white space that surrounded it. This is exactly what we do in life. We fixate on the problems, the difficulties, the things that bother us, and we fail to appreciate all the blessings, opportunities, and beauty that are present around us. His words struck a chord with the students. They realized how easily they, too, could become absorbed by their problems, often allowing them to overshadow the good things in life. The professor continued, deepening the lesson. Life is like this piece of paper. The white space represents the positive aspects of your life, the love you receive, the opportunities you have, the small moments of joy that often go unnoticed. But what do we choose to focus on? The black dots are problems, failures, and disappointments. They're small in comparison to the vast white space, yet we let them dominate our attention and consume our thoughts. By fixating on these black dots, we miss out on the beauty and positivity that make life meaningful. You pause to let the weight of this message settle into the minds of the students. Be continued, think about it. How often do you overlook the good things in your life? Because you're too focused on what's going wrong. We all have black dots in our lives, but they don't define us. What defines us is how we choose to view them. Do you dwell on the negatives or do you appreciate the positives? The students sat in silence, reflecting on their own lives, realizing that they had indeed been focusing too much on their black dots. The professor's words opened their eyes to a new way of thinking, one that encouraged gratitude and a broader perspective on life's challenges. As the professor continued, he offered a powerful insight into the impact of gratitude. Gratitude is one of the most transformative practices we can adopt, he said. When you train yourself to focus on the positive aspects of your life, you develop a mindset of abundance rather than scarcity. It's easy to get caught up in what you don't have or what isn't going right. But if you make a conscious effort to recognize and appreciate the good things, no matter how small, you'll find that your outlook on life improves dramatically. You'll start to see possibilities where before you saw obstacles, and your problems won't seem as overwhelming. He continued, the black dots in your life won't disappear, but their significance will shrink in comparison to the vast white space. The beauty of practicing gratitude is that it changes not just how you feel, but also how you approach life. You become more resilient, more hopeful, and more capable of finding joy even in difficult times. When you focus on what's good, you begin to create more good. Your energy shifts, and this attracts more positivity into your life. This is the power of gratitude. It multiplies the white space and diminishes the black dots. The students listened intently, absorbing the profound lesson about the importance of perspective and gratitude. The professor then turned the focus to a common mistake people make, taking the good things in life for granted. We often don't appreciate something until it's gone. He said, think about it. How often do we overlook our health until we're sick? How often do we fail to recognize the love and support of our friends and family. Until we've lost them, we live in a world full of blessings, yet we let them slip by unnoticed because we're too busy concentrating on the black dots. The students nodded in agreement, recognizing their own tendencies to dwell on problems. And overlook the good, the professor went on. This exercise was meant to remind you that there's always more to life than the black dots. Yes, the problems, the stress and the difficulties are real and they deserve attention, but they should never overshadow the rest of your life. You have the choice to focus on the white space, the love, joy, opportunities, and moments of peace that surround you. It's up to you to decide whether you want to live in the light or in the shadow of your black dots. The lesson was clear. Life's problems were inevitable, but perspective was a choice. In his concluding remarks, the professor urged the students to carry this lesson with them throughout their lives. Remember, he said, life is full of black dots, but they are small in comparison to the vast white space. Don't let them take over your mind or your life. The more you focus on the positives, the more you'll find to be grateful for, and the more fulfilling your life will become. His words resonated deeply, leaving the students with a newfound understanding of the importance of perspective and gratitude. He left them with one final thought. You have the power to choose what you focus on. You can let the black dots consume you, or you can embrace the white space and live a life of gratitude, positivity, and joy. The choice is yours, so as you move forward, I challenge you to look beyond the black dots and appreciate the beauty and abundance that surround you. In doing so, you'll not only change your life, but also the lives of those around you. The students left the classroom that day with a new outlook on life, determined to focus on the white space and make the most of every moment.